Hello and welcome to my studio. My name is Sylvain from homestudiologic.com, and today I want to talk about clearing up some mud in your mix. I'll explain in detail what it is and how it affects the sound of your song and how you can control it so that it sounds beautiful. So stay tuned. All right, so let me explain what is mud. Mud means that in the lower end of your mix, something is wrong. When you're listening to your mix, it sounds, it's not clear. Your mix is, that's why it's called muddy. It sounds like woof, 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 woof. Sorry for making strange noise, but basically that's what it is. And muddiness doesn't basically come only from the bass track. It can come from a mix of guitars. It can come from actual vocal. The vocal can be muddy. So let's see how you can control your muddiness very easily. And the main tool to control muddiness is an EQ. You can use just an EQ, or you can use a dynamic EQ to solve the issue. And there's two lines of thought when you want to control muddiness. You can go to your master channel and you can just pull up an EQ right there, and you can remove the muddiness on the full mix. That's one way of doing it. I prefer finding the culprit and fixing it on the channel itself. If it comes from the bass, or if it comes from the guitars, I want to find out which one is creating that issue, and I want to fix it there and not on the master bus. The reason being is that my personal taste, and it's my personal taste. Some mixers, you might be one of them, like to put an EQ on the master bus when you're mixing. I don't. I like to control each channel so that when my song sounds good, it doesn't come from an EQ that was set up on the master bus. That's a personal preference from me. So let's listen to this song, and there's some muddiness, and then I'll show you what to do to fix it and how I approach this problem. First, let me clear up that the muddiness normally appears in between 175 hertz to 500 hertz. That's where it's very it's muddy. So let's press play. You'll hear that this song right now is not clear at all. It's muddy. All right. I don't know if you're hearing it, but it feels whoop, 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 whoop. Now, the first thing that I like to do is I like to pinpoint which channel, which instrument is creating the issue, and I like to fix it there. So my first instinct, I'll tell you the truth, is the bass. My first instinct is to go listen to the bass and to make sure that this instrument is not muddy. So normally I would solo it, listen to it, and decide if I need to do something about it. Yeah, it sounds muddy. Now, what I need to do is I need to go, there's two ways. I can pull up an EQ. Let's pull up an EQ. That would be the easiest way to do it. I can just open each of my plugins to find out if I did a mistake somewhere and I created this issue. Or if I want an easy fix, I can just pull up the channel EQ from Logic and I can try to find the issue. That's muddiness. Okay. Oh, that's better. Okay. Now let's put it in the mix and see how it feels. It helped, but now I feel that something else is creating muddiness. And I don't think it comes from the vocal. Let's see about the drums. That would be my second guess, because the drums and the bass are the leading instrument in the song. So let's listen to the drums separately. Yeah, you can definitely hear that snare drum, which lives at 200 hertz, is thick. And the bass drum is like, it's got some resonance that I don't like. Whoop, whoop, whoop. So let's do the simple, and let's pull an EQ and find what needs to be turned down. Yeah, that's muddiness. Did you just notice that the snare drum became brighter and more, sounded better, and the kick drum stopped resonating? So let's turn it off and turn it back on to see the difference. That's off. Now let's put this in the mix and see how it sounds. It's a lot better, but I can still hear some muddiness in this mix. So where does it come from? So now that I've controlled the bass and I've controlled the drums, which are the two main instruments, like I said, I'm going to use the mute method. The mute button when you're mixing is your favorite tool. Yeah. Because when you're trying to pinpoint a problem, what you're going to do is you're going to play the song, mute each channel, and decide if it solves the issue. So let's do that. Not the piano. I almost feel impaired.
I'm the only one that I
Not the keys.
can play. Oh, so scared.
Not the acoustic guitar.
Today,
Oh,
the God may be calling out my name. I almost feel impaired.
yep. The electric guitars. So there's some muddiness in this stack because the electric guitars are here and this is a stack, and I did treat the stack. So I did the treatment on the guitars as a whole. So let's pull an EQ. We're going the fast route. We're not trying to find if there's a plugin that's creating that issue. We're just solving the issue. So it's a fast fix. All right, so let's press play on this guitar, solo it. That's Muddiness. All right, so I think we're there. So let's put it in the mix and listen.
The God may be calling out my name. I almost feel impaired. I'm the only one that
All right, so let's do something. I'm just going to align all the EQs that we have created. I'm going to select the 3 channels, this one, the bass and the drums. Let's remove the EQs, press play, and then we'll introduce the EQ back again, just that we can actually hear the difference.
The God may be calling out my name.
Turning it on.
Almost feel impaired.
What a difference.
I'm the only one that
Off.
I can play. Oh, so scared.
Off, on.
Today,
All right, let me give you a little tip when you're mixing. The 200 frequency is often the culprit. You want to control it. It's the same thing on a vocal. Give you an example. This is my lead vocal, okay? Let's grab an EQ. Let's pull up that 200 hertz. And let's solo this vocal.
scared. The God may be calling out my name.
That's a muddy vocal.
I almost feel impaired.
Can you definitely hear the whoop, whoop, whoop when I'm singing? And it most apparent when I'm singing lower notes, because when I do it really resonates. So that's how you can identify that your vocal is muddy and you want to control it. So I'll press play again and I'll remove that EQ so it goes back to what it was so you can hear the difference.
Scared. The God may be calling out my name.
My name.
I almost feel impaired.
What a difference, eh?
I'm the only one that I can blame.
Another trick you can do when you want to control muddiness in your mix. When you're mixing an instrument, no matter what the instrument is, if that instrument doesn't require low end, okay, let me remove that EQ that we don't need anymore. There's two ways. You can do no plugin, or you can use the command key, and there's an eraser. Boom, it's done. It's gone. When you're listening to a example, let's solo the acoustic guitar, and you can decide if that particular instrument needs to be part of that 100 to 500 hertz range, if it really needs to be sitting there in the mix. The reason I'm saying that, if you look at my preamp, I have introduced a cut at maybe 100 hertz to remove so that nothing under 100 hertz goes through. So it's an high-pass filter. But you can go further than that. Let's say you don't need that 200 portion. Let's pull up an EQ and let's give an example. So let's say you want to create an high-pass filter at 300. So boom, boom, and you go up to 300. Now let's turn it off. So you will probably say, why would you do that? Because the guitar without it, with the high-pass filter on, sounds ridiculous. But you have to remember that when you're mixing an instrument, you're mixing the instrument in the song while the song is playing. Yeah, we use a solo just to make sure that all the frequencies are good. But let's say in this particular song, below 300 is not needed for that guitar to be present in the mix. Does that make sense? It's like, give you an example. You're mixing background vocals, okay, harmonies. And when you recorded the harmonies, there's a line where when you did the lead vocal, you sing and you have trailed your harmony too far. One thing you can do, you can cut it and put a fade. Why? Because in the context of the song, the listener won't hear that. But if you solo the track itself, if you solo the harmony, it's going to feel weird because the phrase was not ended properly, but in the mix, it sounds good. So remember that thought. You have to mix your song in the context of the full mix. Does that make sense? So let's introduce that filter while the band is playing, just to see if it makes sense.
The God may be calling out my name. I almost feel in bed. I'm the only one that I can.
You can't really hear it, so I'm going to increase its gain. So you've got the perfect example here how you can create some muddiness in your mix. I've increased the level of that acoustic guitar. If I put that I shelf, not shelf, sorry, I pass filter on, the guitar feels good. Too loud, but good. If I remove it, then the song becomes muddy. So if you want that acoustic guitar to be more apparent in the mix, you really want to hear it, well, you can use a high pass filter to find the exact point that makes sense and remove the muddiness and increase its level. Does it make sense? It's all about making mixing decisions when you're mixing a song. Some instrument, let's say this acoustic guitar would be doing something very powerful. I don't know, a run or anything. And in the mix, it sounds good, but when it comes to that portion of the song where it's doing something special, you want to hear it more, well, you can use a high pass filter to filter out the muddiness so that you can increase its level to a level that is comfortable and that will not annoy the listener. Main idea, you want the song to feel right to the listener. Sometimes you need to take your mixer hat off and put your listener hat on where you listen to your mix in its total value. You're not paying attention to detail. And my God, this is so hard. I try to do this many times, and I can definitely say that I almost can't do it. Even listening to a movie, if there's a song in the movie while I'm listening to it with my wife, and I will analyze the mix. That's how my brain works. And sometimes it's a good thing, and some other times it's not a good thing. Anyways, if you like content like this, subscribe to my channel because I will be putting some good information that might be good for you. I'm doing this to help you get better mixes and to get better at it. But one word of advice, do the reps. Mix, 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 mix. Make mistakes. You learn by making mistakes. And you learn how to fix them. Until then, I wish you well, and thank you very much for watching this video. Until we see each other again on the next one. Take care.